We need across the squad. We need more scoring abilities, and you can't be dependent from one. But it can also come out of this squad. But we need more scoring abilities.
It is the imminent and done deals right about here at the United chapter. We're talking about who's signed for the club Manchester United. Who is it a done deal? Who is most signing? Who is it just a rumor? Who has put pen to paper? Who is saying at the club? And not forgetting who is the club saying that you must go. But mainly in this show, what we talk about mainly who is coming to the club. Anyway, we are talking about the likes of Harry Kane. We're talking about the likes of Mason Mount, Mason Greenwood, Victor Osimhen, Andre Onana, Rasmus Hojlund, and not forgetting Kylian Mbappe and Adrian Rabiot, with also yet a young superstar being also linked to the club Manchester United, and that is none other than Xavi Simons. We've got quite a lot to talk about today, and quite a lot is going to be talked about in this show right about here at the United chapter with me, your host Abu KALS. So we're going to have quite a big talk about this. As if you definitely want to know who signed for Manchester United, definitely you can always stick around. Anyway, I haven't introduced the topic, have I? Anyway, let's get this party started. Hello everyone, thank you for being part of the United chapter, and make your point subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss it on whatever we've definitely got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Manchester United related, right up here at the United chapter with me, your host Abu KALS, as we talk sport, as definitely we give you the latest in transfers, letting you know who's signed for who has signed where, who's definitely gone where, who is coming to the club Manchester United. It is the summer transfer window, and we definitely bringing to you what is going to be happening in the summer transfer window for the club Manchester United. Anyway, where should we start from? Which football player should we start with? We've got quite a big number. As I told you, we've got Harry Kane, we've got Mason Mount, Mason Greenwood, Victor Osimhen, Andre Onana, Rasmus Hojlund, Kylian Mbappe, Adrian Rabiot, Xavi Simons. The list is definitely very big. Where should we start from? Anyway, let's start with Adrian Rabiot. So, Adrian Rabiot will be remembered that is one of the football players, the midfielders that the world has been looking at. Adrian Rabiot right about now has been linked to a very big number of clubs. Very big number of clubs want Adrian Rabiot. But there is always something about Adrian Rabiot. He was linked to the club Manchester United for some time. Actually, in the last summer transfer window, we thought there was a big possibility for Adrian Rabiot to move from Juventus to the club Manchester United. But it comes to our notice that his hindrance was not even about the club. His hindrance was from the mother, from his agent, and his agent is the mother. She's called Veronique Rabiot. So Veronique Rabiot comes out and says, definitely Manchester United, you're not having Adrian Rabiot, you're not having my son because you're not paying enough money for him. His wages are definitely high, and Manchester United in the summer transfer window, they looked at Adrian Rabiot's wages, and because Juventus was looking at selling him so that he can not go off on a free transfer as a free agent, but that's what is definitely happening. So right about now, Manchester United has been looking for a way forward to make sure they can get in proper conditions, good conditions with Adrian Rabiot's agent. And Veronique Rabiot, who happens to be the mother of Adrian Rabiot and also happens doubles as Adrian Rabiot's agent, has had meetings of recent. He's had a big meeting with the club Manchester United, the management at Manchester United, to see where all this will definitely end up. But it is said that right about now, Veronique Rabiot has had her expectations lowered. So let's see how Adrian Rabiot will definitely be moving with this. As what we've definitely had of recent is that Adrian Rabiot talked to the mom about his move, and he said he doesn't want to stay at Juventus. He definitely needs a move away from the Serie A club. And Adrian has been playing for the French national team, and when you've seen him play for the French national team, he's definitely performed quite well, brilliantly. And as a midfielder, and the fact that Erik ten Hag is looking for a midfielder, but do not forget that even when Erik ten Hag is looking for a midfielder is not a priority. So we do not expect, we're not expecting to come to any conclusion of Adrian Rabiot before bringing in a striker, as Manchester United's leading interest is in a striker. So Adrian Rabiot, seeing how Adrian Rabiot definitely has been playing and how he could be playing for the club Manchester United, definitely has been quite well. And seeing how he's played for Juventus, he's managed to score 8 goals and has also had involvement. He's had 4 assists in 32 appearances in the season 2020 to season 2023. And these statistics are definitely quite good for a midfielder like him. Very good football player, and definitely there is nothing that we can say bad about him. He's a very wonderful one, a very good midfielder. But the meetings between him, between Manchester United and Adrian Rabiot's agent, who happens to be Veronique Rabiot, and also happens to be his mother, definitely we've been told that these meetings have come out quite positive, and there's a big possibility that Manchester United could come to conclusion with Adrian Rabiot, and there is a big chance of Adrian Rabiot playing for the club Manchester United. Anyway, you can always let us know what you think about these football players in what you definitely can say about them joining the club Manchester United, more especially now Adrian Rabiot. Talking about Adrian Rabiot, what do you think? Do you think Adrian Rabiot should come to Manchester United, or it could be a waste of money? Somebody's been asking me, how much is Adrian Rabiot? Adrian Rabiot, right about now, he's a free agent, I must say. He must be a free agent. His contract has definitely run out, or will be running out in a very short period of time. And that's why I'm saying Manchester United should be in a good position to sign him, because he's a free agent, because Adrian Rabiot is a free agent. United is not going to spend quite a lot of money on him. United is only going to spend a bit of money on paying him, and that's where Veronique definitely comes in. Veronique definitely comes in, and always she comes in and says, my son definitely, or my client, in whatever position she always addresses it, my client needs a better wage. Her wages are always definitely very, very good. So you will remember that that could be a bit challenging for the club Manchester United, but I think also putting in consideration that they will not be paying him quite a lot of money, then they could probably look at how much they could be giving him per week, and definitely that could be increasing per week. Increasing if he is such a good football player, maybe they could talk about possibly increasing the wages in the near future, but the expectations of the mother should definitely go quite low. So you can let us know what you definitely think about the football player and him joining the club. And as you already know, that Adrian Rabiot is one football player who has been earning a salary of £7.6575 million per year, and that's definitely quite high. And let's wait and see how definitely all this will go. But I think for Manchester United, if he wants to play for Manchester United, as there is quite a bit of interest. There is a lot of interest for him playing for the club Manchester United. His manager should definitely lower her expectations and come to reality, and know that Adrian Rabiot is also aging a little bit, is getting on there, and the wages should definitely go down. Anyway, let's get to yet another football player. Let's talk about Kylian Mbappe. Then we can definitely go on. Talking about Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is a French professional football player who plays as a forward, actually, for Paris Saint-Germain, and he's been linked to the club Manchester United for quite a long period of time. And Kylian Mbappe is one of the fittest and finest strikers that Paris Saint-Germain has, and also the world has. So for a club like Manchester United having Kylian Mbappe, that would definitely be a good thing. However, Kylian Mbappe, it will be remembered that Kylian Mbappe has had a few problems with Paris Saint-Germain of recent, and that's why he's been looking at a move away from the club Paris Saint-Germain. The fact that he came up and said he's not renewing his contract when his contract gets done with Paris Saint-Germain, he's got no intentions whatsoever of renewing the contract. He definitely wants to leave. This shows us that he is in for a move, and he is trying to put it to Paris Saint-Germain that sell me. I need to get out of this club, because if you do not sell me right about now in the summer transfer window, I will go. Next summer transfer window, I'll go as a free agent, and you'll be losing out on 203 million euros, no euros, dollars, 203 million dollars. And that's quite a lot of money. So the club Manchester United heard about this. And when Manchester United heard about all this saga, Manchester United was like, oh, definitely this is something to explore. There is something big to explore quite here. And the fact that this gentleman has been playing very well in the World Cup, international duties, definitely played very well, and also for Paris Saint-Germain, he's also been playing quite brilliantly. And looking at his statistics, he's definitely played quite well, even in the UEFA Euro qualifiers just recently, 2023-2024. He's scored 4 goals, made 1 assist in 4 matches. Definitely, that's how good he is. And in the World Cup, Kylian Mbappe scored 8 goals in 7 appearances, and also made 2 assists, and that's just of recent, you know. Then World Cup qualifiers, also 5 goals and 6 appearances. Definitely, it's been playing quite well for France, for the French national team. And looking at his statistics for Ligue 1 statistics for Paris Saint-Germain, managing to score 29 goals in 34 appearances and making a magic 5 assists, definitely in the season 2022-2023. That sums up who a football player he is, who Kylian Mbappe is. And you can tell why Erik ten Hag is very interested in him. Erik ten Hag wants Kylian Mbappe, and I can 100% understand why Erik ten Hag wants Kylian Mbappe. So Manchester United are very aware, they're very sure, very alert about this transfer. And what Manchester United is doing right about now, they are studying the situation. And it is expected that Paris Saint-Germain, by the end of this season, not even the end, anytime, Paris Saint-Germain is going to put Kylian Mbappe on the transfer market. Is going to put Kylian Mbappe for sale, because they cannot afford losing that amount of money. They definitely are not looking forward to letting one of the world's young talented football players, most talented football players in the world, go as a free agent. That's a big loss. So he has, as you already know, reports came out recently and said he wrote to Paris Saint-Germain direct and said, I do not have any intentions of renewing a new contract, and I do not have any intentions of remaining at the club Paris Saint-Germain come the next season. And that shows you how intense this is. And Paris Saint-Germain reacted, and also he came up and said, and to be honest, I think this was just to cool the pressure. Him coming out and saying that it's just about making peace. He's quite good. He's quite okay. He feels okay at the club Paris Saint-Germain. How are you feeling? Okay. How are things fine? It's just cooling the pressure. Just how are things fine with you writing to the club and saying, I do not want to stay at the club come the next season. I need to move away from the club the next season. Even though when you've not talked about this season, what you're talking about the next season, and it makes a big impact on this season. If you say next season I'm not playing for Paris Saint-Germain, then that makes a very big impact for Paris Saint-Germain this very season. And that's why clubs are saying we definitely need to get into this Kylian Mbappe. Paris Saint-Germain should come out and say he is on open transfer market. Any club that wants him can have him. And a football player shouldn't be at a club where he is not wanted or where he doesn't like. And that's why Kylian Mbappe, Manchester United is saying we can definitely have you and you will definitely be happy at the club Manchester United. So let's wait and see how everything will definitely go. But by the look of things, Manchester United is in a good position of signing the striker, the number 1 forward, Kylian Mbappe. Still, Manchester United could be signing him. There's a big possibility if Manchester United sign him, because Kylian Mbappe is 24 years of age. Manchester United can sign him for 3-4 years. Good 3-4 years, and he will still be scoring goals. I'm very positive about that. 3-4 years, he'll still be scoring very many goals. So, Kylian Mbappe, you'll be remembered that he earns around 72 million euros. Definitely, that's quite a lot of money. But if he's to come to Manchester United, he should be aware that a wage cut should be put in place. Manchester United is not known for spending something over £400,000 per week. That is definitely out. David De Gea stands as the Manchester United football player who earns quite a lot of money, with something like 375,000 per week, and that's around there, £375,000 per week, and that's David De Gea. And I don't see Kylian Mbappe coming to Manchester United and getting £500,000 per week. I know Paris Saint-Germain pays quite a lot of money for these football players, but sometimes they need to think a little bit. They create what Paris Saint-Germain does. It creates quite a lot of competition. In some of these football players are valued quite a lot of money because of Paris Saint-Germain, because it pays them quite a lot of money. But anyway, to be realistic, I don't see Manchester United paying any stupid wage to any football player. Anyway, let's get the party going one more time. But by the look of things, Kylian Mbappe could definitely be heading to the club Manchester United anytime from now. If you need to know when he definitely signs, you can definitely always subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything that we've got to bring to you. And that was it for Kylian Mbappe, who is set for a Manchester United move. There is a big possibility that Kylian Mbappe could end up at the club Manchester United. Anyway, let's talk about yet another exciting football player, a youngster. Very many people have been asking me about him, and guess who this is? This is none other than Rasmus Hojlund, who is a very wonderful and Atalanta football player, and he's been playing quite well for quite a bit of time. And Hojlund, who is a Danish professional football player, has been linked to the club Manchester United for some time, and this transfer is getting to the bit that is most exciting. The 20-year-old is very aware that he is a hot cake, and looking at Manchester United fighting for him, looking at Chelsea wanting him, it's definitely enjoying the limelight. So, you remember that Rasmus Hojlund is a Danish professional football player who plays as a forward for Serie A club Atalanta and also Denmark national team. So, you will remember that this football player also is a teammate to Christian Eriksen. And Manchester United is in the hunt for forwards. And Manchester United might not have Rasmus Hojlund as that football player they definitely badly want. But Rasmus Hojlund can definitely be at the club Manchester United, and he can be groomed as the next superstar. Right about now, he's regarded as one of the best. He's regarded as a very good football player, very wonderful football player. But again, we need to understand that he's not going to make direct impact in the Premier League. It's very rare for a football player to come up in the Premier League and make direct impact. Leave alone the likes of Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland came to the Premier League and made direct impact, big impact there and then. But sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. But if you bring a football player like if you're into a football player like Kylian Mbappe, then Kylian Mbappe has got experience, he's got tactic, he's got everything, dribbling skills, all perfect. Everything is okay with Kylian Mbappe. There is a big chance that he can come to the Premier League and make a big impact, direct impact, no waiting, start scoring goals, big possibility. But Rasmus Hojlund is still a very young one. He's still a young football player, still promising, and possibly things will definitely go on quite well for Rasmus Hojlund if he joins the club. Manchester United, as it is said that Manchester United has had talks with the football player, and all is going on as planned. Everything is going on as planned, and Manchester United is expected to pay around £60 million for Rasmus Hojlund, and that is probably what has been agreed, but we cannot say that it is 100% sealed. Nothing has been sealed in regards of this transfer. Anyway, let's get to yet another one. So are we talking about another one, and that's Andre Onana. Andre Onana, who is an Inter Milan goalkeeper and also has been keeping the goals safe for the Cameroon national team, has been linked to the club Manchester United, with the fact that David De Gea could be leading to an exit of the club. There is uncertainties in David De Gea's contract. David De Gea definitely has not signed a new contract with Manchester United, telling him to make sure that he gets decided very soon. He needs to know whether he wants to remain at Manchester United or not. But it could be both sides. We could be thinking that's why Erik ten Hag is thinking the other way. What does Erik ten Hag think about David De Gea? Because David De Gea is aging a little bit. He's getting on there. Manchester United definitely need another goalkeeper. You cannot have David De Gea forever. No. David De Gea has been at Manchester United for some time. He's played for Manchester United for a wonderful 12 years. And as I said, and as I always say, it is the word experience, tactic, and persistence plus excellency that can describe David De Gea. He's been a wonderful football player for Manchester United. Whenever Manchester United has needed him, he's always been there. Whenever Manchester United has had a cry, David De Gea has definitely been there for the club Manchester United for 12 years. He's seen football players come to the club Manchester United. He's seen football players leave the club Manchester United. So this could be the right time for David De Gea to leave the club Manchester United. However, could he be leaving the club Manchester United? Reports before came out and said David De Gea said he would prefer to retire if he leaves Manchester United. So there's a possibility, however sad it is, we could be seeing David De Gea retiring from football if he leaves the club Manchester United. But put in consideration that there are very many clubs that are interested in the superstar. Very many clubs are saying, David De Gea, we can definitely have you. There is nothing that can stop us from having you. You are one to have at the club Manchester United. We can definitely retain you. You are going nowhere. But having said that, he's not very decided, as I said before. But Andre Onana has been linked to the club Manchester United. And Andre Onana's links to Manchester United come from a point where David De Gea is expected to leave the club. You cannot have a football player, a goalkeeper, number one goalkeeper like Andre Onana, and you make him sit. You put him on the bench. Definitely that is out. He would not agree. Even in signing the contract, I'm 100% sure that Andre Onana will say, I need first team football. I need to play in every game. Out of the 38 games in a season, I probably need to play something like at least 25 games. To the least 25 games or even 30 if I'm okay. And that could be in the contract if he signs the contract. So Manchester United have already started talks with him, and we could be seeing him moving to the club Manchester United. However, put it in consideration, and you need to know that Andre Onana's move to the club Manchester United only depends on whether David De Gea will stay or go. If David De Gea goes, there's a big likelihood that Manchester United will go for Andre Onana. With 2 more goalkeepers that have been put in consideration, Jordan Pickford is not coming to Manchester United. It's quite sad. Manchester United wanted Jordan Pickford, but he's renewed his contract with Everton. That was quite sad. Jordan Pickford is a very good goalkeeper, but he's not looking at leaving the club Everton. He's just signed a new contract, so he is out of the picture for the club Manchester United. That was from that signing. The person who told me that he signed the contract was from an Everton, one of the Everton staff. Anyway, yet another football player that we are talking about. Manchester United was linked to Jordan Pickford, but Jordan Pickford is now off. And also another goalkeeper that is still having links with Manchester United is Martinez, who is an Argentine goalkeeper and has been playing also quite well under Unai Emery. He's also been playing very well recently, but he's been keeping the goals safe for quite a number of clubs. Anyway, he's linked to the club Manchester United, but there is nothing formal that has been put in place. We cannot say quite a lot about him because we've got... there is not quite a lot that has been... There are no strong links with the club Manchester United. Andre Onana is still topping the list of goalkeepers to join the club Manchester United. Anyway, let's get to yet another football player. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. You'll be remembered that Victor Osimhen is a Nigerian professional football player who plays as a forward. He plays as a forward for the club Napoli. He's been playing with Kim Min-jae. Kim Min-jae could most likely is not going to come to Manchester United. I mean, Manchester United is losing off with Kim Min-jae. Manchester United is losing out on Kim Min-jae. Bayern Munich is very interested in Kim Min-jae, and they definitely are having him. They're most likely going to sign Kim Min-jae. It's quite sad. Manchester United wanted him. They made proposals. We thought that everything was going on quite well. And then Bayern Munich hijacks the transfer, and they are the favorites in this transfer. Not Manchester United anymore. Manchester United isn't the favorites for Kim Min-jae. That's quite sad, isn't it? Anyway, we're not talking about Kim Min-jae, we're talking about Victor Osimhen. Just that they share a club. They have been playing for Paris Saint-Germain. Anyway, Victor Osimhen, as I told you before, Victor Osimhen is a Nigerian professional football player, plays as a striker for Serie A club Napoli and also the Nigerian national team. He is considered as the best striker in the world right about now. And he is known for his elite finishing, pace, strength, and athleticism. He is a very good one to have at any club. With Manchester United saying they need Victor Osimhen, Chelsea saying they could be signing Victor Osimhen. Where does Victor Osimhen's future lie? With Manchester United needing a top striker, priority signing for Manchester United this season is a striker. And Victor Osimhen's statistics definitely say it all. Manchester United definitely could be signing Victor Osimhen. 26 goals in 32 appearances and 4 assists for the last season for Napoli in the Serie A. That was quite good. Season 2020 to season 2023. And then also looking at UEFA Champions League, he's managed to score 5 goals in 6 matches. That was also a big thing for him and also for Napoli. So across all competitions, he's had 31 goals. Definitely for Napoli, across all competitions, 31 goals. That's been a brilliant thing. That's been a very wonderful thing for the football player. And right about now, he's been linked to the club Manchester United. And Manchester United are weighing their options. Manchester United is weighing options in saying between Victor Osimhen and Harry Kane, who should the focus be on? You'll be remember that Victor Osimhen is still young. He's a bit younger than Harry Kane. Harry Kane must be 30, something like that. But Victor Osimhen is 24 years of age. 24 years of age, he still has quite a long period of time and is scoring these goals at 24 years of age. He can only get better. The older one gets, the finer it becomes, the better it becomes. So as he's aging, as he's getting to 20, when you see his statistics, he's been improving. When you look at Victor Osimhen's statistics from 2021 to 2023 per season, they have been definitely increasing and improving. You see, he scored 10 goals in 2021. He scored 14 goals in 2022. He scored 26 goals 2022 2023. Definitely you can tell that it's definitely been increasing over time. It's definitely been increasing. So let's wait and see how all this definitely goes on. But by the look of things, the club Manchester United is interested in him, and it could be we could be seeing him moving to the club Manchester United. There is a big possibility that Victor Osimhen could move to Manchester United. However, who is your preference? We've not talked about Harry Kane yet. I'll be talking about Harry Kane in this very podcast and what is happening with his transfer. Anyway, let's talk about yet another football player. Anyway, has Harry Kane signed just as yet? Just stick around to know what is happening with Harry Kane in his links to the club Manchester United. Let's talk about again Mason Mount. We have Mason Mount, we've got Mason Greenwood and Harry Kane. Let's talk about Mason Mount, the Chelsea football player. Manchester United had a bid rejected for Mason Mount, and right about now Manchester United is preparing yet another bid for Chelsea's football player. There's quite a lot going on about Chelsea and them. There is a lot going on about Chelsea, saying that Chelsea is not having a fair game with other clubs. Because in the last two spells, Chelsea has spent over £600 million, and spending over the last 600, more than £600 million in the last two spells for Chelsea. They're definitely looking at selling some football players, and that is definite. And where it becomes a bit tricky. We thought they would be selling these football players to Premier League clubs, but they've decided to sell these football players to Saudi Arabia. There's quite a lot of money in Saudi Arabia, and I don't know, but there's no Manchester United football player just as yet who's been linked to Saudi Arabia, but lots of football players are linked to the club, to Saudi Arabian clubs, and for some reason, very many people are questioning about Chelsea. Chelsea is shipping around 6 football players to Saudi Arabia, and this involves quite a lot of money and FFP rules. People saying that there's quite a lot of blogs on and stuff. People saying that Chelsea must have done something wrong with FFP rules because they are sailing to Saudi, and there is a company somewhere in America where these owners of the Saudi clubs are big investors in that company. And in that company that happens to be somewhere in America, the current owner of Chelsea has got quite a lot of shares in there. And there is a big connection between Saudi investors and the club Chelsea, with even some sources saying that Chelsea could be owned by Saudi Arabia. There is a big possibility of that. But what we already know is that there is quite a lot of money in Saudi Arabia, and football players are going there. But that money will not last. It's oil money, but the money will not last. So I think possibly Saudi Arabia is trying to look for ways to survive, and maybe, who knows? But Manchester United is not yet affected by Saudi Arabian money. There's no Manchester United player who's been linked to Saudi Arabian money just as yet. But you never know; it could come tomorrow, and you hear we possibly hear that there is a football player from Manchester United that is going there. But as it stands per now, there is none. Anyway. Mason Mount definitely going to the club Manchester United. Manchester United is very interested in signing Mason Mount. Very big possibility that Mason Mount is going to Manchester United. Erik ten Hag says he has the mode of play that he definitely wants. He's a very good midfielder, versatile, plays every little bit of the midfield. He can comfortably play a defensive midfield, central midfield, attacking midfield. Put him in every part of midfield. He will will definitely play it quite well, as you definitely need it. And Manchester United has had bids rejected, but Manchester United is definitely putting in yet another bid. Manchester United is not in any position of getting off for this gentleman. So Manchester United are definitely ready to put in a £50 million bid for Mason Mount, as they are saying that they are more than ready to put in this bid. £50 million, £40 million was rejected, and right about now, we could be seeing Manchester United going for the football player. Anyway, let's talk about yet another football player. Let's talk about yet another superstar, but Mason Mount. Mason Mount has been playing quite well. Statistics, he's got quite good statistics, though he had a bit of an injury sometime, but that's why he didn't play quite in a big number of games. But he's currently fine. He's definitely very okay. Mason Mount, right about now, he's okay. He's a very good football player. He's an okay football player, and him going to the club Manchester United, definitely that would mean quite a lot. Let's hope everything goes on quite well for Mason Mount, and things will definitely be brilliant for him if he joins the club Manchester United. And if the bid has not yet been submitted, second bid has not yet been submitted, with the first bid being rejected. The first bid the first bid was £40 million, but it was rejected with immediate effect. Not even a day. They didn't think about it. Todd Bowley, the co-owner of Chelsea, didn't think about it. He said, "I'm not taking £40 million for Mason Mount. Sorry, £40 million, no way." But also, you will be remembered that Chelsea, before we go any further, let's talk about what's happening. It will be remembered that Mason Mount, Chelsea have a possibility of retaining Mason Mount, because Mauricio Pochettino, who is the current manager of Chelsea, has said a few things about this gentleman about retaining Mason Mount. However, Manchester United are very interested and willing to give him quite a lot of money. But Chelsea has been unfair with Mason Mount. For a football player like Mason Mount to be earning £80,000, per week, that's the wages that Mason Mount has been on for quite a long period of time. £80,000 per week. I mean, football players like Mason Mount, football players like Mason Mount always earn around £150 million to £200,000. £150,000 to £200,000, and some even go to £250,000. Extremely £300,000. And a football player like Mason Mount, versatile, very good, hunted for by quite a big number of clubs. He's earning £80,000. I think Chelsea have played this wrongly, and that is why Manchester United is saying, we are going to give you a wage that could be more than £100,000 if you join the club Manchester United. And Chelsea looking at it this side saying, "Oh, we've definitely not been giving him quite a lot of money, but we think we would be even valuing him quite a lot, much more money." However, Mason Mount himself is looking at a move away from the club Chelsea. So, big links with the football player, big links with Manchester United, big links with Mason Mount. Let's wait and see where this will all definitely take us. So we definitely left with two football players. We left with Mason Mount. We also are left with the one and only Harry Kane to talk about. Let's get the party going. Let's talk about Mason Greenwood. A lot of people definitely want to know what is happening with Mason Greenwood. What is happening with Mason Greenwood and him joining the club Manchester United, getting back to the club Manchester United. Is he really at Manchester United? What is happening? Anyway, let's wait and see. Let's definitely get into this transfer. Let's get into this transfer. Mason Greenwood. So, Mason Greenwood, you'll remember that he had a few things going on. He had a few things going on in his life. Mason Greenwood had quite a bit of stuff going on in his life. He had charges with Harriet, who happens to be I don't know whether they're still together with Harriet. Harriet, I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure whether definitely things are like that. But, sorry. But what happened recently is he had charges placed on him, and these were related to something like sexual harassment and stuff. I don't want to talk about that topic, but let's get this out of the system anyway. And he was stopped from playing football for some time, and for some time it definitely came out, for quite a long period of time it came out that he is not going to be playing for the club Manchester United. It was quite scary that he's not even going to get back to playing football, and he could be going to jail for possibly 10 years or more. And it happens that after making investigations and stuff, he happens to be an innocent man, and he's cleared of he's definitely cleared of all charges. And then what does that mean? If Manchester United play wrongly in this, with Mason Greenwood, Manchester United is going to pay quite a lot of money for Mason Greenwood. However, Mason Greenwood, Manchester United said they are going to carry out their internal investigation. But Manchester United, you will remember that Manchester United is not a law firm. Manchester United is not a law firm whatsoever. Everybody goes by the law. If the law is saying Manchester United, if the law is saying Greenwood is an innocent man, then, but keeping Manchester United, keeping Mason Greenwood at Manchester United, it is a decision that can be made by Manchester United, but also put in consideration that keeping him at Manchester United, letting him go or terminating his contract would cost Manchester United quite a lot of money. However, having said that, Manchester United is not looking at letting him go. Manchester United at first was saying that they definitely need to see how Mason Mount performs. They want to put him off on a loan, not sell him, because the sell option is definitely out. They wanted to take him to a club, loan him, watch him play for a season possibly, and bring him back the next season or keep him on loan. But from different sources, when he's been in personal training and been observed by Manchester United staff and scouts and stuff, they've realized that Mason Greenwood, Manchester United has been losing quite a lot with Mason Greenwood's absentia. And right about now, Manchester United is not looking at any point selling him any easy. Manchester United is looking at him signing a new deal. His current deal runs until 2025. And right about now, Manchester United are saying, we want even to give you a further deal, a bigger deal. Let's wait and see how all this goes. But Greenwood is at positive moods with the club Manchester United. Both parties look to be very happy. Both parties definitely look to be quite happy. Anyway, let's talk. We've also got a bit of news coming in from Transfer News Live, saying Marcus Rashford is close to signing a new long-term contract at Manchester United, which will earn him £370,000 per week. That's quite positive. I'll be talking about that. Anyway, let's talk about Harry Kane. With Harry Kane, talking about Harry Kane is a very wonderful one. He's a very good football player, I must say. And also, Harry Kane has been linked to quite a big number of football players, but it will be remembered that Harry Kane has made rounds in he plays for Tottenham Hotspur and also the English national team, but he's regarded as a legend for Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs definitely want him. They want him to remain at the club, but is it worth for him to remain at the club? Let us know, because there's no reason as to why he should remain at the club. Spurs are not winning, and for him managing to score 30 goals in 38 appearances, making a total number of something like 4-5 assists, definitely in the season. Last season, definitely, that shows you how good he is. He's a very wonderful one. He's a very good football player, I must say. So I think everything is going to be going on quite well for the club, Manchester United. As we've already seen Harry Kane's statistics. They've showed us that Harry Kane is a wonderful one. He's a very good one. I mean, scoring that amount of goals, 30 goals in 38 appearances. Definitely, that is quite good. That's quite good, I must say. Anyway, let's wait and see. Harry Kane, who's putting in consideration, let's wait and see what will definitely go on between Harry Kane and Manchester United. Harry Kane of recent, the transfer was called off. Manchester United came out of this transfer, but it's been reinstalled again. And Manchester United is saying they are going to be looking at a position where they are going to be getting the football player. Anyway, getting yet another bit of information. Manchester United are expected to make a new offer worth £50 million for Mason Mount. I already talked about that. This source is just bringing it right about now. It is understandable that Harry Maguire's expectation may prohibit a move to West Ham. Oh, are we having Harry Maguire again? Is Harry Maguire yet to remain at the club Manchester United again? Big possibility. Anyway, are we talking about Harry Kane, not Harry Maguire? But that's what we got a little bit coming in from different sources. Anyway, let's get the party going with this football player. Talking about Harry Kane and his current move to the club Manchester United is what we've definitely been doing, and let's wait and see. With Manchester United also interested in, there's a bit of a link of Manchester United with Xavi Simons, but Xavi Simons' Manchester United link is definitely a bit slow, not that strong really, not that strong. So there isn't anything that I'm going to be talking about it, because I'll talk about it when I'll talk about Xavi Simons if Manchester United get in touch with him. And right about now, that has not yet happened. It's not happened just as yet. So, looking at Harry Kane, we've been talking about Harry Kane, who is a very good one, a very good football player, and him joining the club Manchester United would be a great thing. Harry Kane has big positive, he has big records on him. This has been also, he scored 30 goals in his life. 30 goals twice in 2 seasons. He scored 30 goals. That's quite good. And they are around 3 seasons ago, and again the last season, 30 goals. That's the kind of football player. That's the kind of player that any manager definitely needs in his club. Manchester United are working tooth and nail to make sure that they can sign Harry Kane. But Manchester United also are putting in consideration the £100 million that is being requested for Harry Kane is quite a lot of money, and they are ready to make sure that they can go into negotiations. And this comes in from the director of negotiations of football at the club Manchester United, who said that they are ready to go into negotiations with the club Tottenham Hotspur once they say that Harry Kane is available on the market. And up to now, they have not, Tottenham Hotspur as a football club have not yet come out and said this, but it is expected that they are definitely going to be saying it. But once they say it, then the club Manchester United will be in for a run, and Manchester United will be able to go into a run for this gentleman. £100 million for Harry Kane. I would personally pay £100 million for Harry Kane if I were the manager, if I were in that position. I would pay £100 million for Harry Kane. I mean, if Harry Kane can come to Manchester United and score 30 goals for Manchester United, what does Manchester United then need? Manchester United needs a striker. Looking at Val Vigos and how he's been playing, not the best of positions. He's not played quite well. Val Vigos hasn't been a very good football player this season. It might have not been the best seasons for him, but he scored just a cartoon number of goals. Very small, very tiny amount of goals, maybe 2. And then, he's been on loan. So Manchester United made the right decision not to sign him on a permanent deal. That was the right decision. I think Eric Ten Hag looked and was like, I'm not so sure about this football player. Let him come on a loan. From Besiktas, Manchester United was in a position of signing him because he would not cost quite a lot of money. But him going to Manchester United on a permanent deal, that would definitely be something wrong right about now as we speak. You never know, possibly he could have ended up improving his game with time, but he's had a horrible season. And also looking at Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial is also a number 9. Manchester United is looking at offloading Anthony Martial because he's not impressed. He's had quite a big number of injuries. He's injury prone. You cannot rely on Anthony Martial. Sad to say, he is most likely going to be leaving the club, Manchester United, with Sevilla very interested in him. He could be heading to Sevilla. But also, Manchester United is looking at a perfect replacement, making sure that they can definitely get a football player who will fit in there quite well. Anyway, let us know what you think about Harry Kane and him joining Manchester United. Do you think Harry Kane is better than Anthony Martial? 100% I would say yes. If I had Harry Kane, I would never play Harry Martial. Not Harry Martial. I would never play Anthony Martial. If I had Harry Kane, I would not play Anthony Martial whatsoever. Never in 100 years. No chance absolutely. Maybe if Harry Kane had an injury, because I need those goals. Manchester United needs those goals. Anyway, let's wait and see how things will be rolling. Let's wait and see how things will definitely be moving on. But by the look of things, Manchester United is very happy about this transfer, and they are looking forward from the director of negotiations of football at the club, Manchester United. Manchester United is just waiting for when the club Tottenham Hotspur comes out and says he is out for sale. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Manchester United related, right about here at the United Chapter with me, your host Abu KALS. Thank you and goodbye for now. It is the United Chapter. It is been episode 3, third episode, isn't it? In the Done Deals in the Imminent.